All right, it's my pleasure to introduce Jackie Sloane, a master certified coach with over 25 years of experience in executive coaching, leadership development, and culture transformation. Jackie is known for helping leaders achieve extraordinary results and greater well-being through how they engage, communicate, and build relationships. She's developed powerful programs like generative leadership communication, which equips leaders to have transformational conversations that spark creativity and accelerate progress. And she's guided culture change across Fortune 100 companies, nonprofits, universities, and public sector organizations. Today, Jackie will share something that's near and dear for you business owners. It's the art of being heard, positioning yourself, your service, or your firm on value. Her talk is more than just using your words. It's about shifting how others see you and respond to you so that you can stop convincing and start closing with clarity. Please join me in welcoming Jackie Sloane.
Ready? So, as we begin, I invite you to reflect on a couple of things. What is the work that suits you best? So, probably in your business, you do more than one thing. What is that one thing that you do best, or that maybe there's two things that you do best? Uh, you really enjoy it and you're really good at it. And then what really matters to your clients? Especially that ideal client, that client that you love to work with, that you do a great job with. What really matters to that client? And then what is it that you do that supports them with what really matters to them? So just take a moment to think about that. Call that up in your consciousness as we're talking today. So those three questions, what is the work that suits you best? What really matters to your client, your ideal client, and then uh, what is it that you do that supports them with that concern? That is positioning. That is positioning in a nutshell. So for you to know the difference that you make for your ideal client, and then to be able to talk about it. What I have found is that when you are really clear about the difference that you make with your clients and you can talk about it, it just makes marketing and selling, a sales conversation just easy. It makes networking easy. So a little bit about me, as Lee said, I'm an executive coach. My background's in marketing and communications and leadership, excuse me, and journalism. And I went through a graduate level training program to become a coach. And what I discovered when I became a coach is that leadership is a lot like marketing in that the best leaders know how to influence people. They know how to bring out the best in people through how they communicate and how they build trust and in what they do. And this whole idea about positioning and how powerful it is, it's something that I learned from my very first coaches. I was very fortunate to work with two people that I consider to be master salespeople, and one of them owned his own ad agency. And so I'm going to share with you a process I learned to support you in your positioning. And so I'm not going to have a million slides here, just have a couple of slides here. So here we go. So positioning, okay, sorry. Positioning is actually the art of using leverage to communicate an idea. So the communicator, and that could be in a conversation or in an ad or whatever, the communicator uses what people already know or are concerned about to help the audience understand your product, your service, your idea. And it was the idea of positioning was coined by these two consultants, Al Rees and Jack Trout, back in 1981. They wrote a book called "Positioning: The Battle for Your Mind," and it was the book, oddly enough, positioned them as marketing experts. So So a simple way to think about positioning is, for instance, I once I once told a dentist, uh, you're the Rolls Royce dentist. I need the Camry dentist. And so you know what I mean by that, right? I mean, everybody knows what a Rolls Royce is, or most of us do. It's a very, very expensive car. A Camry is a car for regular people. And that dentist wanted to do some elaborate things that I just never dreamed of doing. So uh, what I want to say too about positioning is, in particular, as a service provider, we position ourselves on value, the value we provide to our clients. That's and the interesting thing about positioning is you can position yourself in a conversation. So, just a couple of things about my background. As a marketing communications consultant, I once helped a company book a year's worth of business in 1 quarter, based on helping the owner of the business realized that what he was talking about in his sales conversations was about tasks and functions and details. But when we interviewed his clients, they said, they told us, oh yeah, he saved me millions of dollars because in my life savings, he helped me make a sound business decision. So rather than talking about marketing research functions, we helped him realize he helps people make sound business decisions and use marketing research as a tool. And then so his business shifted because he changed the way he thought about his business and the way he talked about his business. And my firm, we once won the work with the an association that had the largest companies in its industry in a 20-minute meeting. So they told us we had 20 minutes to talk to the board of this organization. And we were used to having 2 hours to have a sales conversation. So we did. We talked to them, and we in 20 minutes we positioned ourselves as really understanding their concerns and having ideas about how they could address their concerns. So, like I said, that's I'm talking about positioning on value. So when people hear you as somebody who is an expert on their concerns, it can be a very small space between being seen as an expert on their concerns and an expert in solving the concerns or addressing the concerns. And I've experienced this many, many times. So when people see you as someone who drives what really matters to them, and ideally, guru, you are the one that could help me. They're less likely to try to get the price down. They're less likely to go shopping and shopping around. And so let's see what else I want to say about that. So there's this is a positioning is much more dynamic than branding. And I have a handout for you that I think Lee is going to put in the slot in the chat for me, just because it's a little bit easier for him to navigate it while I'm doing this. It's a handout that has these questions. So, oops, here we go. So, to position yourself effectively, here are the questions that I have learned you really need. What is that work, that type of work that suits your firm best? Who are your ideal clients? Because it's going to be easier for you to market to and sell to your ideal clients when you understand them and when you can speak to their concerns. So what is your goal? And by the way, concerns, by concerns, I mean it could be a problem, a worry, or a deeply felt goal. You know, in sales training, a lot of times they talk about go to the pain point. But I've found that people have big goals and dreams sometimes. And if you can help them with that, that is very, very powerful. So, and then what is that value you provide as it relates to the concerns of your audience? How do you talk about the value? How do you articulate it? So I'm going to give a shout out to Lee. Lee is very good at this, very good at this. Once I met him and understood what he does, I've told many people about him because it's very unique and it's very powerful, the difference he makes. Plus, he's very generous with his knowledge and with his opportunities. And we've become friends after just, getting to know each other earlier this year. So, I want to invite your questions now. It's yeah. I'll just stop now and let you ask questions.
All right. Uh, can you stop sharing your screen for a moment?
Of course.
All right. And then I get to share mine because we all. Hey, thank you, Jackie. That was amazing. I'm gonna end the recording right here.